I honestly don't know how to start out this video. Um, Doing this kind of video has taken a lot of strength that I didn't know that I had. Um, this video is going to be about my recent experience with depression and anxiety. So I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm depressed. Um, as a child, at the age of about 2, my biological parents got divorced. Um, Growing up with divorced parents, to say the least, has not been an easy um, thing to handle. Um, Growing up, my dad got me every other weekend. Um, it seemed to be that my parents got along for the most part when I was a little girl. Once I hit about my teenage years, they started not getting along, which really took a toll on me because I felt like I was the one who was causing their fighting. Like it was all my fault. Even though growing up now, I realize that it wasn't my fault. They just had their disagreements. Um, as growing up, I moved numerous times. During my early elementary school days, I was living in a different state. My stepdad had gotten a job out of state, so obviously we had to move. Just to backtrack a little bit, my mom got remarried when I was about the age of 6 to my now stepdad, who has been a father figure to me. He has raised me since I was about 2 or 3, give or take. I mean, obviously, my dad has been in the picture all my life and still is to this day, and I'm almost 26. And he will always be my father, and I will love him till the day one of us dies. Um, Growing up, I moved back to Ohio in about the 4th grade and had to move to a new school, adjust to a whole new environment. Left behind all my friends from where I used to live, had to make new friends, which has been a struggle for me. I've never been able to make friends very easily. Um, it's just, I honestly don't know why. Um, and adjusting to the new life as far as elementary school is concerned after moving was not easy. When I started in the 4th grade in elementary school, I got picked on. Um, I was very, very um, slim as a kid. I used to get picked on because I was so skinny. Some of the names I got called have still carried through me to this day. It still bothers me and has been bothering me all my life. I've tried to get past that, but sometimes it's hard to think back, especially with some of the recent exploits I've experienced growing up more as an adult. Um, I've been called some really not so nice names by people who um, are family. Um, I'm not mentioning names and I'm not mentioning the things I've been called. But to make a long story short, as far as that goes, it has really gotten to me. Um, I have had some recent experiences that some of my family members have not been supportive of. I moved out of the house at the age of, I want to say 22 or 23. Moved in with my now ex. It it was an experience that I have learned from. However, family members still could not let go and not let me live my mistakes down, which really gets to me inside. I can't help but think about that every day and the guilt I have felt since that happened, as well as other experiences which are too personal to share. Um, but based on all the names and stuff I've been called over the years, it just gets to me every day. And between that and holding two jobs down to where I work almost 60 hours between a week between both, and then going to college full time, it was just too much. And I it's just so hard when you've been bullied all your life and there's no easy way to overcome this kind of a thing. Um, I had to eventually confront my mom as to what's going on. She was not, she's wasn't and still is not a very supportive person, unfortunately. Um, I mean, she's been my mother all my life. She always will be, and I love her to death, but she just can't accept the fact that I'm 20, almost 26 years old in a couple weeks. She won't let me live my mistakes down, and it just hurts me that she brings it up on a daily basis, and I can't move on because she won't let me forget all of the mistakes I've made over the years. And I tried to confront her and let her know, over the past couple months, I've experienced some panic attacks, and um, all I gotta say is, for you guys out there who are suffering from this kind of a thing, I strongly encourage you guys to talk to somebody. And because you don't want to have to live with this on a daily basis, having this kind of thing happen and not be able to tell anybody, um, because you just bury everything down inside, and it just all becomes too much and you become overwhelmed, and that makes it even harder to deal with. And so this past July, I don't know how many of you guys out there are supportive of online therapy. Through an ad slash Google, I came across this online therapy. Um, it's actually semi-affordable, and I know there are many, many people out there who are not supportive of online therapy, but in my case, it was unfortunate that I had to go behind my family's back to take action to help my mental health myself. I felt it was time to take care of my mental health and take control of my life, despite the fact that my mom is not supportive. And recently I had to explain everything to her. She is not supportive of the fact that I'm in therapy. She doesn't believe a word I say. So I strongly encourage you, if you're experiencing anything that you feel you need to talk to somebody, I strongly encourage you to talk to somebody, whether it's a parent, a therapist, a friend, a teacher, anybody who you think could help you in any circumstance you might be facing, whether it be depression, anxiety, um, grief, overcoming like a loved one who passed away. Which reminds me, my great aunt passed away. It'll be 10 years this upcoming February. Um, She passed away from stomach cancer. Um was going to chemo, and it just made her worse, which was very, very unfortunate. They gave her a few months to live, and growing up with divorced parents, like I said, was not easy. It Every other weekend my dad had gotten me, and every other weekend that I was not with him, I was with her. And there is not a day that goes by that I don't miss her. I know deep down inside she's watching over me and protecting me from any harm. It's just so hard to talk about. And I know a lot of you out there will probably be harsh and say that I'm an attention seeking person, when my whole goal of this video is, even if I help one person, then so be it. I can't stand to even think of how many people are going through something similar to this and not being able to reach out for help. If you're experiencing from anxiety, depression, um, anything, I strongly encourage you to go talk to somebody, or if you feel it's even more serious than that, I strongly encourage you to go see a doctor. I wanted to go see a doctor. I tried to get my mom to believe me as to what was going on. She would not believe me, and due to being on her insurance, I could not go to a doctor of any kind due to her finding out, and then I would have to answer more questions, and it would just go downhill from there. So I had to wait. At the age of 17, I got diagnosed with epilepsy, which is it's seizures, in other words. I That has been very hard to overcome. I have been put on medication since I got them, and I have been fortunate to not have one in almost 4 years. Um, I have been very blessed that the medication has been working. It's just hard growing up with all these medical problems and not having your parents believe anything you say, and not having the support from anybody in your family. The only support that I've had over the years is on my dad's side. My aunt and my grandma have been so supportive in this whole entire journey that I've been going through the last few months, that my mom would not let me go see a doctor. It was My dad's side of the family lives in Florida, which is unfortunate. I might get to see them twice a year if I'm lucky. And my aunt, fortunately, is a registered nurse, so she knows a lot about what to do, and she's been giving me advice, and I just can't thank her enough for everything she has done and still continues to do. She's gotten me to go back to church, which I went to for a little while and then stopped. And I regret stopping in general. I totally regret going, or not going. I totally regret stopping. I totally regret it. This past Sunday was the first time I went to church in over a year, and I can't even describe the feeling that it was like to be in church again. It was such a great feeling to be in church again. My ultimate goal in life now is between finding a full-time job of being a recent college graduate, other than finding a full-time job that is in my field. My ultimate goal is to be close to God and be just somebody who is completely devoted to the Lord. That is one of my ultimate goals in life. And if it wasn't for my aunt and my grandma, I don't think I would ever be back in church. It has taken a lot of strength for me to go back. Strength that I didn't even know I had. Growing up, I never saw myself as good looking or anything, and my self-confidence and self-esteem have been shot over the years due to being bullied as a kid, and then being called names by family members that just pretty much shot my self-esteem and self-confidence. And then I have a disability. I'm not going to go into detail as to what it is, but in a nutshell, it's where my brain develops slower than people my age. I am physically 25, almost 26 in a couple weeks, but my brain thinks in a process of like a 18, maybe 19-year-old. And I have had a coworker at my main job that I usually get about 40 hours a week at. She is an older lady, and she claims that she doesn't hate me, but deep down inside, I feel that she does. And based on some of the names she has called me, makes it even more difficult to not believe that she hates me. Due to my disability, like I said, my brain develops at a slower pace than other people's, and she knows that I suffer from this. And this has happened on two different occasions. The first occasion, I was in charge of doing somebody else's work because they took a vacation day, so I was in charge of doing her work as well as my work. And she had compared me to the other lady her exact words were, and I thought, I'm not mentioning names, she said something to the effect of, and I thought so and so was slow. Now, me being the way I am, I took that personally because of my condition. I took that personally, and she didn't even think twice to even explain it at first. She goes, her initial reaction was, I don't even think she had an initial reaction at first, but she claimed after the fact, after about 10-15 minutes went by, she claimed that she didn't mean it like mentally slow. She says that she meant like I move at a slow pace. But me being the kind of person I am and suffering from that disability, of course anyone in my situation would probably take it the wrong way. Not on purpose, obviously, but the fact that she said it the way she did and then didn't correct herself till 15 minutes later doesn't seem right to me. That you can call somebody slow and then joke around about it. Especially when you know for a fact that the person you are talking about suffers from a disability. It is just not right nor not fair to call somebody something like that when there are slower people in the world mentally. And yet, her knowing that I suffer from this, and then having the nerve to call me that, and then not correct herself till 15 minutes later, and then she told me to lighten up as far as calling me that, because she realized that I took it personally. She goes, I think she said, I was just joking, lighten up, don't you know how to take a joke? And I distinctly told her that you should not have called me that, knowing that I suffer from the condition I suffer from. And just dealing with all of this has just pushed me so down far into a hole that I don't know if I'll ever be able to recover and fully get over everything that has happened to me. And me making this video just makes me feel so much better, knowing that even if I help one person with their struggles, it will make me a better person, knowing that I helped somebody overcome their struggles or gave them advice, good advice on what to do if they're it's okay to feel like the way I'm feeling. It's okay. I didn't believe that at first, but therapy has been helping me, and my therapist is one of the best therapists that I could ever imagine for her. She just since July, she has helped me overcome so many issues that I've had. And without her, without my aunt, and without my grandma, I probably wouldn't be the person I am right now. I am far from perfect. Far, far from perfect. But because of them, I am slowly, day by day, trying my hardest to become a better person. Trying my hardest to become a better Christian. Trying my hardest just to do better at life. And dealing with depression is not easy. It's okay to feel like the way I'm feeling. Don't hesitate to get help. If you feel you need to get help, I strongly encourage you to go get help. There is nothing in the world wrong with going to get help if you feel you need it. I had to wait to see my neurologist, which wasn't till October 12th of this past month. This past October, I didn't see my neurologist till then, and I had already been suffering from all of this for a couple months prior to that, because my mom is the way she was and would not believe anything I say, and not having any other family members close enough to believe me that could take me to the doctor to get evaluated. I had to wait till then, and I had to do it in private. I had to lie and say that to my mom that I did not get put on anything other than my seizure medicine. I had to lie to her and say I did not get a prescription for antidepressant medicine, when I obviously really did. And I haven't been on it long enough to see if it's made a huge difference yet. But what I can tell you is just explaining her to the doctor what I've been through over the last few months, it took a lot off my shoulders. It felt like hiding all of this time was just burying me even further into the hole, and feeling like that I would never for the rest of my life be able to dig myself out of it. It's a very hard thing to deal with each and every day on a daily basis, and having family that's not supportive just makes it even worse. I am so thankful that I have my aunt and my grandma in my life. Like I said, without them, I probably would not be the person I am right now, being able to even record this for you. They have given me, just in the last month or so, enough strength to be able to talk about this. They have given me enough wisdom. They have given me enough faith to be able to talk about this. I didn't think I could ever talk about anything like this, and let me tell you that it feels amazing to me to be able to share my story, and I hope that through this video, I'm sorry it's so long, but through this video, I hope to God to help somebody out there get help if they feel they need it. Do not hesitate to reach out to anybody if you feel you need to. If you feel you need to go behind somebody's back if they're overprotective like my parents are, if you feel you need to do that, I encourage you to do whatever you feel like you need to, especially if you're over the age of 18. If you're over the age of 18, your parents can't really do much, and I knew that to be true. But due to my parents being so overprotective, I unfortunately had to go behind their back and do the unthinkable of lying to them to get what I needed. But I felt like I needed to get evaluated by somebody, or even just have somebody listen to me. It was hard enough just coming out and telling even some of my family members. It was hard enough, let alone telling the doctor what I feel is wrong. And if you feel anything like any of the symptoms I have had, I strongly suggest, if you plan on seeing somebody, like, depending on how bad your symptoms are, I suggest you keep a journal of what you've been feeling, the symptoms you have. If you've had any panic attacks, I suggest you write down the day it happened, the approximate time it happened, where it happened, and how long it was. That's what I did, and that gave my doctor an indication of what medicine was best for me, based on the symptoms I was describing to her and based on the panic attacks I was having. So if any of you are struggling out there, I know what it feels like personally, and I just hope that you guys can learn something from this video, whether it be just hearing my story or reaching out to a friend, family member, doctor, whoever it may be, if you feel you need help. I hope to see you guys next time.